What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we have an epic 2 versus 2 custom battle for you, wherein the Gobbo King and I are leading the greenskin hordes in the defense of the Black Crag, which is a fun Steam Workshop map. We are facing off against Turin and Italian Sparticus, who are leading the armies of Chaos Dwarves. We are using the Chaos Dwarf mod by Sleepy, which allows us to use these fun modded units and to flesh out these Chaos Dwarf armies. Now, right off the bat, you're going to see that the Gobbo King, true to his name, he has vanguarded 2 groups of Forest Goblin Spider Riders over here. However, it looks like they were ready for our tricks. So they have a group of, these are cool new units, the Bull Rider Centaurs with spears. They've got 74 weapon strength, anti-large, scaly skin. I mean, these are just epic bestial units charging into these forest goblins. Luckily, we're going to have a little bit of slow on them, and hopefully we can get those forest goblins away. Additionally, you see here he's got a bull centaur Taruk. This has got 500 weapon strength almost. It's got flaming attacks. I mean, this is just an epically cool large centaur unit. It's a hero, so if he catches any of those spider riders, they're going to be in for some trouble. If we look over here on the left, you'll see that they have brought mobs of goblin slaves. These units have almost no melee attack or defense, 14 and 12, but they do come in units of 150, so they will be able to tar pit some enemies and just get in there and soak up a lot of fire. If you look here in the front, he's got some Infernal Guard hail shots. These are super cool. They're almost like blunderbuss units. They've got short range, but they do high amounts of missile damage. And these are just epic ranged units. Over here to the left, you'll see that they have brought a Death Shriek rocket launcher. Now, this Chaos Dwarf mod just has a lot of cool modded units. You'll see here even on the cannons, they've got runes. I mean, this is just what I hope the Chaos Dwarves start to look like when they actually get put into the real game. You'll see in here in the back, we do have some Black Orc slaves. Now, that is what we are avoiding by holding the Black Crag. We do not want our units to be turned into slaves like these guys. You'll see here in the back, they do have some Infernal Ironsworn. These are just elite, very strong units. You'll see they've got 120 armor. They've got flaming attacks. They've got 62 melee defense. They're just overall going to be hard to kill, and they're just going to be able to cut through units that are up against them. Here, flying in the air, you'll see that they have brought a Bale Taurus. Now, this is a flying unit. It causes terror. It has armor piercing, flaming attacks. I mean, there is just a ton of cool new units that they've brought to assault our fortress. Up here in the front, you'll see there's another 2 groups of long shots. These have 160 range. They're armor piercing. They have tons of ammunition, and they will just be firing there into the gates, trying to take out as much as they possibly can. Here in the back, you'll see they've just got some more slaves and 2 standard groups of Chaos Dwarf warriors, which even the Chaos Dwarf warriors look pretty cool. You'll see those braided beards. You'll see some more Ironsworn here in the middle. And then here in the back, we've got the Great Axe Infantry. These are the Immortals. These are the damage dealers. These guys will do tons of damage. They don't have shields, so they will be able to just smash up anything they're against. You see here, they're led by Drazoath the Ashen. He is a support specialist. He does have just quite a few different spells and, I mean, different abilities. He is just overall going to add just a ton of utility to their lineup. And here in the back, we have a Kadai Destroyer. This is just an epic unit. You see him just charging in here. He is huge. He has tons of weapon strength, tons of attack. I mean, with 106 attack, that means he really doesn't miss. He causes terror. He's armor. I mean, he is just huge and beastly. We got to watch out for that giant unit coming into our forces. Over here on the left, you'll see that there is a couple more groups of Infernal Guard, Immortals, Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and these are a super cool unit. These are the Kadai Fireborn. While these units have only 18 melee defense, they do have almost 100 weapon strength. These are just, overall, these are just heavy damage dealers. You don't want to get them into the battle because they will take a ton of damage, but when they do hit, they just hit like trucks. Here in the back, you'll see another group of hail shots and a group of long shots, just rounding out the ranged units these guys are using to assault our forces. You'll see here they've got some goblin slaves. They've got some slave ogres, which are super cool. These guys have, although they have very poor leadership, they've still got 61. They have low melee attack and defense, but they do have okay weapon strength, so when they do hit, they hit hard. You'll see they're hidden in here some hobgoblin cutthroats. These guys are going to be charging in. Hopefully they're just going to be in there to cut up a few more units and to reinforce these slave armies that he has here in the front. Over here on the far side, you'll see that he also has a bunch of slaves. He's got some regular orc slaves. He's got some more slave ogres and some more orc slaves. He's just got all sorts of slave armies to be in the front to absorb any fire that we have. I just love the detail that this Chaos Dwarf mod by Sleepy has put into the game. Every single unit is refreshed and it just looks super cool. You'll see here that he also has Rykarth the Unbreakable. This unit is super cool. He's an unbreakable, great axe leader. He's got tons of weapon strength, tons of attack. He's got a bunch of cool abilities, and he will just be keeping these Chaos Dwarfs in line. Here in the back, you'll see he's got a Lamassu. This is just an excellent flying unit. It's got magical and fire attacks. I mean, this thing will be flying in. It's causing terror, and it's just going to be trying to get into our back lines and do a ton of damage to any units it can get its hold on. Here in the back, finally, we've got some Chaos Dwarf Pyrelocks. These are a little bit weaker than the long shots, but they still have armor piercing, and these are actually not too bad in melee. They have shields, and they're just going to be providing more and more of this range support for his armies. We've got a magma cannon over here, which if you see is super cool. It's got this dragon skull head. It's got some Chaos Dwarfs manning it, and these things will just be looking to shoot that 406 missile damage right into the ranks of orcs coming out of this crag. Over here on the side, you'll see that the Gobbo King has tried to vanguard some more fanatics. He's got the Warlord's Boys and the 8-Peak Loonies. These guys won't be able to be seen due to their stalk ability, and I'm sure that he's hoping to get them in and behind any artillery that we figured must be coming from these Chaos Dwarves. Over here on the other side, you'll see just like on the other flank, we've got a Bull Centaur as well as a group of Bull Centaur renderers. These are just, I mean, they're super cool. They're going to be mobile, and they're going to be able to do a ton of damage and knocking stuff out of the way. So over here for our greenskin army, I'll try to be quick. You'll see that the Gobbo King has brought a couple of groups of Goblin Wolf Chariots. He wouldn't be the Gobbo King if he didn't have his goblins. Those things are fast and cheap, and hopefully they'll be able to just smash into those slave lines and do a bunch of damage, knocking those guys everywhere. You'll see here that we do have each of these walls manned by groups of Night Goblin fanatics. We've got some trolls over here, and we also have some goblins here. And so you'll see here that this group of units is meant to guard this gate over here. We've got the main front gates, which also has the same thing, some goblin fanatics here in the front with some trolls. Also got a goblin big boss. And then back here in the back, I'm moving up my orc biggins and my goblin big boss. So we're trying to get these units in here to plug up these holes once we realized how big of units were coming here through the front gates. You'll see additionally, we've got two groups of goblin archers. These are night goblin archers. These are just going to be hopefully shooting in from the bluffs here. And since they're on this raised platform, they should be able to get great firing arcs. Now you see in the back here, we've still got a ton of units held in reserve. We've got all these orc arrow boys, a whole line of 5. We do have some more orc biggins over here in the reserve, as well as these goblin spears over here on the left to try to hold this leftmost gate. Gobbo King does have an orc shaman here. It looks like he's got Fists of Gork as well as Here We Go, so he should be buffing up his units, maybe buffing up those trolls. And you'll see here on these two crags, we do have goblin rock lobbers. So on both sides, we've got a bunch of rock lobbers, at least 5, and then we've got a hammer of Gork right here in the front. These rock lobbers should just be able to smash rocks down on the enemies as they come in here from the gates. In the back, you'll see that we have a bunch of units of black orcs. We've got Grimgor, we've got the Crimson Killers with their double axes, we've got 4 units of black orcs here in a line, and we've got a Night Goblin war boss here in the back with a bunch of nasty skulkers and goblin archers. This is just our final holding place. If they want to take our city, they're gonna have to take out these last guys here on the uppermost part of the fortress. So I know this has been a little bit of a long-winded introduction, but let's go ahead and get this battle started. You'll see right off the bat that they start bringing in these flying units. I mean, these units are causing terror, and they're just going to immediately start routing these Night Goblin fanatics. And when I see this unit come in here, I think to myself, I better get these units of biggins in here, see if I can get this big boss on them, and see if I can stop this Bale Taurus from doing all this damage to our front lines. However, the second I bring these up, you'll see those infernal long shots and these Chaos Dwarfs. I mean, they're just going to start firing in here. You'll see as that artillery piece, the Death Shrieker, is just smashing rockets in. And hopefully we'll just try as best we can to get these trolls in here and just to arrest the charge of this first gate. You'll see these trolls are just knocking guys left and right. But once that Kadai Fireborn gets in here, he is going to do a ton of damage to these trolls. He is just going to be swinging, and you'll see that the damage on these trolls is just significant every time he takes a swing. This Taurus is just continuing to fly in here. He's causing terror. I'm not able to slow him down. You see we haven't really done much damage to him at the all. You see over here at the leftmost gate, he is still shooting in with these Inferno Guard hail shots. We do have a big blob of units here, a bunch of spears and fanatics, and you see the Goblin Rock Lobber just tossing rocks in there at these slaves. We are getting a bunch of kills, but I mean it's not going to do a lot. If these hail shots are able to shoot in here and take out these units while we're killing slaves, that is exactly what slaves were brought for, to die. If we look over here on the right, you'll see that there is another big group that's coming in. You see we're trying to push up. We've got our spears and our goblins. We've even got our group of trolls here, and we are just trying to do everything we can, but I mean there is just tons of ranged fire. Oh wow, look at that slam into its own troops. But I mean these are just slaves. The Chaos Dwarves don't care about their slaves. Oh wow, look at those fanatics coming through this middle. They were just smashing guys out of their waves. But these, I mean, you see, oh, look at that magma launcher. It is just destroying units. I mean, there is just bodies everywhere. This rightmost gate is going to be in for some trouble if we can't get something up here to reinforce it. You'll see here that the wolf chariots are coming in, though, so they should be able to help hold this line. Back over here in the middle, it looks like we have lost. I mean, that Taurus and this Kadai Destroyer were able to rout off all of our units. However, though, we have managed to get some trolls into the back line. We were trying to get them over here to take out this Death Shrieker, but it looks like he was protecting it with these Black Orc slaves, and he was able to protect it. Those Black Orc slaves are no joking matter. They are able to do some massive damage, as long as they're not taking a lot of damage. You'll see over here in the middle that he is, oh wow, that is super cool. He's got a flaming spell going in there. You see that Kadai Destroyer come in, and immediately all of these Night Goblin fanatics are just sent off and running. I mean, look at all of the units that are being chased off. I mean, we are lucky that we've got multiple layers of defenses here, because our initial defenses here at the gates are having a really hard time holding the line. You'll see as this Taurus just continues to get in here and cause all sorts of problems for us. We're trying to have these Orc Arrow boys shoot at him, but I mean, he is just still almost full. The AP Loonies will hop on him, but since they don't have armor piercing damage and he has 100 armor, it is going to be slow going to take out the health of that fiery Taurus. Over here, you'll see as these rock lobbers are just going to continually fire in, but I mean, we have lost that middle front gate. We are having to retreat and hold the area behind it. Over here on the left, we're still holding strong. We did manage to get in here and kill these hail shots, and I feel like that's helping a lot. These goblin slaves and different things have been pushed back, and I mean, you can see here that that is just a mob of units here at the gates. He's got his centaurs in here, and I think those are really going to start turning the tide, because even though we do have a lot of units here, these centaurs are at full health. They've already got 50 kills, and you'll see they're just going to start smashing in here. And mixed in here with the Infernal Iron Sword, in the back, I mean, these units are not going to be able to hold those bull centaurs forever. You'll see as their units in the front start to approach, we are just firing everything we can at them. We're trying to knock out this Taurus. We're trying to get the arrows in. And additionally, we're starting to try to slow this mob down here that's made it up this front causeway. You'll see here that there's archer fire starting to come in, and those trolls come and just knock a ton of those elite units flying. Those Ironsworn are on their backs, but they are not dead. They still have plenty of health, and these trolls matched up against all these Chaos Dwarf warriors and Ironsworn and Immortals, they're immediately routed off, and they were not able to do what we had hoped. Additionally, it looks like our forces over here on the right are completely broken, and so he has been able to get these bull centaurs and the bull centaur war leader right over into our back lines. Luckily, we did have plenty of troops held in the rear, so we are able to stop them, and hopefully we'll get as much damage as we can with these trolls and these nasty skulkers on these bull centaurs, and keep them from coming in as soon as possible. You'll see here that they have managed to get this Kadai destroyer way farther up in the line. We did not expect such a large unit from them, and we just did not have a lot of answers to deal with it. You'll see we continually are shooting. We've got these arrows, I mean all sorts of goblin firing squads. We've got the Orc Shaman here, but this Kadai destroyer is just going wherever he wants. There is not much we're able to do to stop him with the sheer amount of mass that this guy has and the weapon strength that he has. Even though we're holding here on the left side, you'll see that those bull centaurs still have not taken a lot of health damage. These bull centaurs over here have not taken a lot of health damage, and they are just starting to rout off these trolls and goblins. And with this destroyer running into the back and rear charging, I mean, look, that just broke all four of these units. But between his terror and that rear charge, the weak greenskin leadership just could not handle it. Back over here in the front, you'll see that these firing lines are just continually shooting in. You'll see as the rock lobbers are shooting in, but I mean, it is not looking good. We're gonna have to send in the reinforcements. So here you'll see that the lines of Black Orc have decided to invade. We've got Grimgor up here. We've got these Crimson Killers. I mean, we are just trying our best to get in here and pop our buffs, and we are just going to try to do as much as we can to fight off all of these elite units. You'll see here that he does have those Kadai Fireborn in here. When with standard die, the leadership of these units, they are not going to budge. So hopefully these Black Orcs are just able to cut through them. And you'll see that the unit models do start dropping. These Dwarf Warriors are going down. I mean, the reserves of Black Orcs and Grimgor were able just to do a ton of damage. And there, I'm trying my best to rout off this unit that managed to make it in past our initial defenses. Over here on the right, you'll see that this unit of the Warlord's boys did manage to take out the artillery that was firing from the back. We do have a second group of AP loonies, and we are just trying to sneak as much as we can here into the back to take care of any ranged, to make sure that this right flanking and these left flanking forces don't meet up with the group in the middle. Here in the middle, you'll still see that there is an epic battle being waged. However, these Black Orc slaves are starting to charge in. I mean, all of these Black Orcs are just massed up. And I mean, this is Orc versus Orc. This is just a crazy battle. Not what we're used to seeing. I feel like I would have probably been better off had I spread these units out and allowed some of them to hold up these units here on the right. Because as you see, these Bull Centaurs are just going to be charging in from the rear. I try to get some units back to hold them off, but I mean, they are going to cause significant leadership problems. You'll see the Warlord's boys and different units are already going to take leadership hits. This is going to cause lots of trouble with me being surrounded with this Lamassu in the middle here, just destroying as many guys as he can. Oh man, there is just not a lot. Oh, and then there comes another flame. Oh, on all of those Black Orcs. It is just causing huge amounts of damage. You'll see as these Black Orcs are dropping, I mean, none of them are anywhere near even half health anymore. While Grimgor is still strong, he's trying to fight off Drazoath. I mean, he is just not able to get a lot of damage done on that epic Chaos Dwarf warrior. Over here on the left, you'll see that our forces have finally broken. And while the Gobbo King is trying to get his Forest Goblin Spider Riders in there, these Chaos Dwarf units on the flank are just starting to push in and surround any of the units that we have remaining. So there is not much left that we are going to be able to do against all of these forces. You see that the greenskins have finally broken. There's only 50 troops remaining, and those are just the different unbreakable troops that we have scattered across here. This group of 8-peak loonies over here is still killing a few Chaos Dwarf Pyrelocks, but overall, there was just not a lot we could do against those epic large units. We definitely should have had a little bit more to deal with the units on the left and the right, because they were able just to come in there and apply tons of force to our units. I mean, they were able to get in behind those large centaurs and those centaur heroes. I mean, as well as this magma cannon. Look at this magma cannon, has 269 kills. I mean, maybe it was killing some of its own units, but those slaves in the front, I mean, those slaves were not important. They did their job. They tar pitted our troops up in front and allowed for all of those Chaos Dwarf ranged units, those handgunners, the long gunners, all sorts of different ranged units, as well as all of their artillery and these flying monsters to get in there. And they were just able to do tons of damage to our backlines and just keep us from really taking out their leadership, which is what we really needed to do. That Kadai Fireborn is also just an epic unit. The Kadai Destroyer, sorry. We did try to take him out. I spent so much effort in trying to kill him, but I mean, with 300 kills and 358 health still remaining, there is no wonder that the greenskins were not able to hold the field with all of these epic units, each at low health, but none of them were actually taken down. So you'll see that although we tried, we were not able to succeed, and the Chaos Dwarfs did get their slaves. Now here in the post-battle wrap-up, you can see it looks like, I mean, Turin's units were just epic. I mean, 215 kills with that Death Shrieker, 300 with the Kadai Destroyer. I mean, these large units, they were able to rank themselves up multiple times throughout the battle. I mean, this unit of Infernal Ironsworn, they were able to get 244 kills. Now, granted, we did bring some goblins and different weak units, but I mean, just the kill counts racked up on these guys. I mean, this Bull Centaur had 200 and was still at full health. These guys were just, I mean, these guys were epic. They were strong units, and he was able to bring those large monsters in and just do tons of damage and use these slaves to tar pit us in the front, allowing these artillery and different flying units just to get in there and do their work. You'll see on Italian Sparticus's side, I mean, that magma cannon was able to get 270 kills. I mean, even this unit of slave ogres, even though they were kind of weak, I thought, they had 110 kills. So against our weak goblins and the night goblins that the Gobbo King brought, these slave ogres and I mean and these Infernal Guard and different units like that, they were just able to rack up tons of kills. If you look over here, we have this Bull Centaur Renderer. Those were on the flank. I mean, these units just got so many kills, so many ranked up between all of his different units. If you look over here on the left, you'll see that my units just did not perform to their cost. That fire spell that he dropped on my Black Orcs, I mean, that did tons of damage. I feel like I would have been better off having one unit of these Black Orcs up in each of those battles to maybe cut down some of their elite units before they breach the gates. You'll see here that our units of Regiment of Renown, I mean, with 1 kill and 2 kills, there was tons of slaves, there was different units. I mean, these units would have had to do a lot better off for us to win this battle. I mean, with only 3 kills, 4 kills, 10 kills on these Orc Biggins, I mean, they were just not at all equal to the task of which you know, for their cost. The only thing on my side that did well was my artillery. And I believe that was the only thing that made the battle even look close, was the fact that these rock lobbers were just smashing the whole battle. We had them going into those choke points, and we were able to do some significant damage with our artillery. But we just weren't able to hold those front gates long enough to take them out. You'll see here the Gobbo King had the exact opposite effect. His rock lobbers got almost no kills. So we definitely needed to have maybe some different artillery, maybe some doom divers to be a little bit more accurate. But I mean, he did get tons of kills with his regiment of renowned goblins. He was able to get quite a few kills. I mean, some of these Night Goblin fanatics, they got more kills than my Black Orcs. So, I mean, they were, for their cost, they were definitely able to get quite a few kills on those slaves. However, I don't feel that these nasty skulkers were able to get off the damage they needed. They were held in the back in the reserves, and by the time they came out, the leadership was a little bit down, and I mean, some of these had 0 kills. So you know, we definitely could have brought some more elite units, some bigger biggins. But I mean, the Gobbo King brought a crazy goblin army. And I mean, for its cost, it was able just to do a ton of work. Our archers were also a real another sticking point. I mean, we could have gotten a lot more kills with our archers had we moved them up. I mean, we held them in the reserve, but by the time our front lines broke, our archers did not have enough time to fire in there before they were engulfed by the enemy flying units that we just hadn't planned for. It would have been better off had we kept these regiments renowned in the back so that we could have, when those flying units came down, we could have poisoned them, sundered them, and maybe taken them out with those units of Black Orcs. The saving grace for both of our teams was these trolls. They were able to get in there and get a bunch of kills, but I mean, you see, there's just, I mean, not enough kills spread across all of our units. I want to thank Turin and Italian Sparticus and the Gobbo King for this epic 2 versus 2 battle. And I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Please subscribe below for more great online battles. This is Black Iron, and I hope you've enjoyed another one of Black Iron's battles.